Drop down and follow the conduit all the way to the end, past the fork. Hold on, trying to shut down that robot remotely.
Then you've already lost. I have your artifact. Fine. Take your credits. See if your little gamble pays off.
The fact is, the invisible hand of the market does not give out its gifts equally. We are literally in a tower, standing above the streets of the city. The metaphor isn't lost on me.
If it makes you feel any better, Slayton Aerospace would have no qualms about killing all of you. You really need to learn some tact. I'm holding the very thing you went to all this trouble for.
My dear young friend, what have you talked him into? I wish I could say I was a better person, and that I would gladly martyr myself in my company for a better tomorrow. But I am not, and I won't.
Either you'll finally return to the board with a profit, or I'll have a case to turn Stroud Eklund into just Eklund.
Oh, this wouldn't have anything to do with that meeting you've set up at the Astro Lounge, would it? I can't really fault him. They're his credits. He can do as he likes. But over the years, it's become something of a joke between us.
Here, go ahead, Walter. Take your money. See if your little gamble pays off.
I suppose I can wait.
Enter the room on the right.
Frequent enough that it's a running joke. Not so frequent that he still has credits to his name.
It's your decision. I'll upload the navigational data to you.
Oh, aren't you lovely? Now I must point out the obvious. The Astro Lounge. Huh? It's a remarkably insecure location.
Hello, all of you. Issa Eklund. The hyphen Eklund in our glorious company's branding. Walter's manhood couldn't handle second place.
My dear young lady, what have you talked him into? Talk to him about it later. Once he cools down, he'll be all ears. The room below you is clear. Drop down.
You're welcome. I'll upload the navigational data to you.
Oh, my heart skips a beat when he does it. Really, it does. Such passion. If he talked to the board that way, I wouldn't need to placate them so much. Wait, there's people in the room up ahead. Closing the shutters.
That depends on my husband. You might have to deal with them on your way, of course. I leave that to you.
Shall we continue from last time? The luxury cruise line market is completely outside of our core competencies. Investing into it is a mistake.
Yes, of course. Walter Stroud is his own man. I push him when he needs to be pushed. I threaten him when he needs to feel threatened. And I help him when he needs my help. You really need to learn some tact. I'm holding the very thing you went to all this trouble for.
Move now.
You're out of touch, my love. It's time you left that stuffy lodge and came back home. Perhaps present your findings to the Stroud Eklund board about how you're going to exploit it for financial gain.
Wait. It's walking down the hall.
Aren't you tired of trying to find some miracle out there in the stars to one-up me with?
Walter, wherever did you meet your new friend? I'm jealous. Oh, don't go on about that again. Needing you isn't the same as wanting you, and I'd much rather want my partner than need them. Less complicated. Oh, don't mind the two of us. Challenging each other intellectually is a cornerstone of our relationship. We're eager to hear what you found.
Either you'll finally return to the board with a profit, or I'll have a case to turn Stroud Eklund into just Eklund.
I hate being selfish, but I would like some time with my husband. We need to go through the fund authorizations anyway. Yes? Why are you here, Walter? The board meeting isn't for a while. Our vacations aren't coming up either.
You'll have to forgive him, Alex. You know how eccentric the Strouds are when it comes to acquisitions. I would be crazy not to accept. Here, sign this.
Stop. One of the doors leads you right into the open. I'm unlocking a safe route.
The room on the right has a couple of guards, but leads to a long stretch of hallways that should be easier to avoid more notice.
I won't belittle your position with some speech about how Stroud Eklund pays people more than average, or our years of charitable contributions. Ugh. One of Slayton's security robots is tracking you, trying to shut it down. Indeed. Or at least he doesn't want it to be a surprise when there's a sudden, significant loss in one of our accounts. You're still so tense. Normally, once we're alone, your shoulders relax. They're taut.
As long as you don't mind going through the old underbelly sewer system, you'll have an easy way in.
I do like visitors, but Stroud Eklund doesn't run itself.
I do feel a little guilty since you were so honest with me before, but sometimes a demonstration is more important than just words.
Back to the usual routine, meetings, forecasting, corporate espionage.
Because, as bad as I know my relationship with Walter looks, the truth is, I love him. He's my husband, and I don't want to see him fail. Tell me, what do you think my husband is going to do when you finally find something worthwhile?
Oh, just some light sparring, dear. Now, why are you here, my dear? The board meeting isn't for a while, and our vacations aren't coming up either. Feel free to look around. Stroud Eklund is the peak of ship manufacturing design.
Oh, you mean this? Would anyone like to tell me what was worth Walter moving so many credits from his accounts to a single, secure transaction device?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm always in the middle of preparing for the next board meeting. If you'll excuse me. I don't.
What the hell do you think you're doing? I should have all of you arrested.
That large doorway is blocking your exit. There should be a switch in the room right across from it.
Good luck with your investigation. I realize the irony of us not going ourselves. Paperwork.
A building that also happens to have a forgotten access point.
Walter always gets so eager at this part. Do look out for him.
Walter?
So soon? Very well.
Yes, so many impressively large things you inherited from the Stroud bloodline. I've heard and seen everything.
But after my husband and I married and merged the companies, we decided to make our mark on interstellar travel. And now the brand is nearly synonymous with starships.
That large doorway is blocking your exit. There should be a switch in the room right across from it.
That's the elevator you came in on. Jump right across the top of it and keep going to the end.
You're my husband. Take your place at my side. I'll lead us to the future this company deserves.
Wait, there's people in the room up ahead, making the glass opaque.
Here. Go ahead, Walter. Take your money. See if your little gamble pays off. Gladly.
A remarkably insecure location for a clandestine meeting. Took longer than I'd like, but I managed to pay off one of Slayton's security consultants. They've patched me in.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ah, I missed you. Co-CEO, heir to the Eklund fortune, and somewhere down there I'm his wife, yes. I disagree. I don't see a reason we can't have this discussion.
And you're not going to swipe this one out of my hands, I assure you.
Doors will open in 3, 2, 1. James Newell can seem cagey at first, but he'll tell you everything he knows for enough credits. There's a series of catwalks that lead directly up one floor to the executive level. Oh, you've been a real treat. Feel free to stop by any time. Slayton has put a bounty on your heads. He's greased a few palms. Your ship's been impounded at the spaceport. Where did you two meet, Walter? I'm intrigued. If my partner is done undermining my position, why doesn't he tell me just how you two met?
Hello? Is this Constellation? Look, while Walter is busy yelling, perhaps a more reasonable mind can hear me out. I like the little streak of gray you have now, by the way. It suits you.
I suppose it is. Sweeter when it pans out. But he does have a nose for these things.
No, it isn't. I'm clearly standing in the way of whatever it is you want. I'm building an empire here, Walter, and you're missing it. Stroud Eklund is where you belong.
I wonder just how secure they've made their building. Then, some preliminary casing of the Astral Lounge for security flaws. Give you the advantage if things go wrong. I did enjoy watching your escapades around Neon with Walter. I'm sure it's all he'll talk about next time. No, I won't. Stroud Eklund, its people, its employees, its partners, its investors, they are who I care about, not the entirety of Neon. Yes, I gathered as much. Well, I hope this one pans out. Seconded. Got it. Whew. They're scrambling the protocols. I doubt that'll work again.
Why try to purchase the asset when you can just purchase the entire company?
Yes, they are. But my company comes first to me. Family is often an empty word in corporate culture, but I believe in it.
He's lucky he was also bequeathed with that gorgeous brown hair of his. I would have had to call the wedding off otherwise. Either you'll finally return to the board with a profit, or I'll have a case to turn Stroud Eklund into just Eklund.
Slayton's guards and employees are all over. Be careful. If you belong to Stroud Eklund, we will take care of you. But that is where my sympathies end. I wish I could say I was a better person than that, but I'm not. There's a vent above you. Just climb up. I know. It's my favorite hobby.
Now, who's going to tell me what was worth Walter moving so many credits from his accounts to a single, secure transaction device?
Wait.
Only after you had one hack into mine. Tell me, can mutual distrust lead to a point where it's actually the same as mutual trust? I'm fine. The board complains, I assure them. There's the occasional assassination attempt. Another robot up ahead. Wait for it to pass, then head straight across to the maintenance door next to the security gate. Oh, do say something. Anything, really.
Hold on. 1 second.
And what better way than to leverage a starship builder? How very clever. Go now, straight across to the door. Head left, but don't go through the door at the end yet. There's a robot stalking the hall.
Constellation feels free to take my company's money, but not give updates. Is that it?
I'll be making some calls. See if I can't lend a hand.
Walter?
Exactly. You can see how removed my husband is from the groundwork, if he's overlooked something so obvious. Say hello to my husband the next time you see him, will you? You're coming in just behind the executive elevators. I'll call the one on the far end, and you can walk right over the top. Oh, has he now?
Congratulations. You have finally discovered your office. Surely the rest of Constellation is here in order to witness this historic event. But don't worry. I'm not here to spar with you. I just want my husband to realize where his money is coming from and who's in charge of it.
My dear young man, what have you talked him into?
I happen to know that this artifact you're looking for is still in Slayton Aerospace headquarters.
Originally, both the Stroud and the Eklund corporations made consumer goods. Anything and everything a person could want. Hello? Do you need a moment?
But tell me, when Constellation finally does find something worthwhile, what are you going to do with it?
They design personal craft and military ships, Walter. Large-scale accommodations and hospitality is a completely different beast. You know the routine. Up the vent. It's a short one, I promise. Were that true, Walter wouldn't have sent you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here I am arguing with my partner. And you're just standing right here. Somewhere between a rainy day fund and a slush fund. He said he'd always had a bit of extra money set aside, in case opportunities arose. Slayton Aerospace has offices here in the trade tower. If Nicholas is moving this quickly, he must be there or close by.
You're so obsessed with these little baubles that you miss the obvious answer to your dilemma. Sometimes a demonstration is more powerful than just words. At least your friend here is honest. Tell me, Walter, when Constellation finally does find something worthwhile, what are you going to do with it?
Oh, very well.
You're about to enter a lobby. There's a metal cabinet on your right when you enter. Duck behind the cabinet immediately.
Why don't we discuss why you're here?
Oh, I thought my little jab about the Stroud Eklund name made that quite obvious.
Slayton Aerospace has an office right here in the trade tower. Keep going, all the way to the end. It's how I show my love. Oh, that was exciting. I can see why Walter's so fond of Constellation. Yes, exactly. That's the outside of the other set of elevators. Jump right across the top of it and keep going to the end, with no leverage. Oh, you must let me help. It's been too long. Walter's actually very attentive when it's just the two of us. Well, I should hope so. He and I are very famous. You and Walter should plan out your next move. Ah, yes, Boone, the bartender of the Astro Lounge. He isn't above bribes. His boss practically insists.
Drop down and follow the conduit all the way to the end, past the fork.
You'll want to use the vent system to slip around unnoticed. There's a cover to the left of the elevator you came in on.
Don't be a fool. This thing isn't even worth 1/10 of 1% of your shares.
I can tell. I can see your mind racing. Some investigation into the cellar. What's motivating them?
Oh, interesting question. Neon is the ultimate playground for people who have money, and that means we exhaust ourselves sabotaging each other. It's fun, but a huge waste.
I'll be keeping an eye on this as it unfolds. You can always use a little backup in this city.
Now, who's going to tell me what was worth Walter moving so many credits from his accounts to a single secure transaction device? Okay, he'll be preoccupied with that for a while. Let's talk.
I hope Constellation is treating you well, and that Walter is keeping your budget reasonable. Back before Walter and I married, he confessed that he had stashed away a credit stick in a copy of Around the World in 80 Days.
I know it's an unusual relationship, but it works for us. I may be in your way now, but my goal isn't to stop Constellation. I just want my husband to realize where his money is coming from, and who's in charge of it.
You're back. Talk to Walter. He's been fidgeting nervously this whole time.
Don't take the direct approach with me. You'll lose a fight you had no business hand-fisting your way into in the first place. Do you think he could resist not taking your discoveries to the Stroud Eklund board and telling them how to exploit them for financial gain?
Go now. Security is on full alert. No point slipping through unnoticed now. You'll have to fight your way to the exit.
Stroud Eklund, as a company, doesn't believe in restraint, but sometimes I wonder if Neon's lack of a moral authority isn't hurting everyone. Even us.
Don't yell at me for your failings, Walter. Aw, how sweet of you all to stand up for him. At least one of you is smart enough to question his motives.
Oh, I'll be keeping an eye on this little operation, just in case. Good luck, all of you.
Aw, how sweet of you all to stand up for him.
There's the door. It should take you outside.
Your exchange didn't go well, and now you don't know what to do. Well, I have a suggestion. No, Walter, don't say anything. Let me savor this.
Hello, Walter, dear, are you there? When he wants to take a chance on something, it's his way of asking without asking, if it's all right with me. Almost there. Door on the right.
I mean, I had to marry one to seal the deal. Imagine the Notary Public's face on our wedding night.
Remain behind cover, shutting down the turrets.
Ah, yes, the daring explorers my partner is so infatuated with. You should hear him reciting that speech.
They're a mega corporation, after all. One in dire need of some ethics reforms.
I'll draw up the appropriate paperwork for the funds. Thank you for bringing me his message. I hope we see each other again. It's been fun. Who was it again, Walter? The founder of Constellation?
Don't move.
Okay. You'll want to use the vent system to slip around unnoticed. There's a cover just to the right of the elevator you came in on. Slayton impounding your ship. It's a bold move.
Perhaps present your findings to the Stroud Eklund board about how you're going to exploit it for financial gain.
I see my partner has brought a labor dispute to my office. Walter.
Hello? Walter, dear, are you there?
I still get questions from reporters wanting to know just how we pulled that transition off. And my answer is always the same. Money solves everything.
Issa Eklund, the hyphenated Eklund in our glorious company's branding.
Move now.
Oh, it jumps up the list at the right moments. Let me just get that for you. Opening the door on your right. Go now.